Good evening, I'm Sangeeta Thaudam and welcome to ISTV Evening News. First, the headlines. Two persons, including a former PLA cadre, killed in separate incidents on Thursday night. Government decides to make anti-hijacking law more stringent. And Manipur to meet West Bengal in the first semi-final of Women's Football Championship on the 22nd of this month. Now the news in details. Two persons were shot dead in two separate incidents yesterday night. In the first incident, three unknown miscreants gunned down one person yesterday night around 9 p.m. at Shangakshang Tongkong under Yaripok police station. The victim was identified as 30-year-old Ningombam Premjit, son of Ito of Yaripok Kakmayai. Family sources said Premjit joined the People's Liberation Army PLA about 10 years ago, but he left the organization and was leading a normal life. He was married and survived by his wife and two sons. He was shot by the unidentified while returning home after having dinner at a friend's place. He was hit by 4 bullets in the chest. In another incident, 28 Assam Rifles killed a person in an encounter at Kongba Irong under Irilbung police station yesterday night around 11:30 p.m. Both the bodies were brought to the rim smoke. Meanwhile, the person who was killed by Imphal West commandos in between Tharoism and Tautong Makhalaikai on the 16th of this month has been lying unclaimed in the rim smoke. If it is not claimed by 4 p.m. on the 20th of this month, Lamsang Police Station will perform the last rites. The 3-day state-level cultural festival organized by Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan concluded today at Kumalampak Youth Hostel. In folk song and dance competitions, Ukrul bagged the first position. Imphal is in folk song. Ukrul also bagged the first prize in the Yuva Kriti exhibition, where the participants saw crafts, handicrafts and handmade products in 20 stalls. A cultural dance performed by different communities was presented on the concluding day. The CBI, which has been investigating into the July 23 Quarambal cartel encounter, today conducted spot inquiry at Maimu Pharmacy and its adjacent areas on the Bir Tikendrajit Road where Chungkham Sanjit was killed. The commando personnel who were involved in the encounter and now under suspension were also present during the spot inquiry. The CBI officers asked the commandos to enact the encounter of July 23. Combined troops of 21 Para Squad and Thawal Police Commando arrested a PLA cadre from Hairok area on Thursday morning and recovered several arms and ammunition hidden in the forest of Wabajing village. According to police, combined troops conducted such operation at Hairok area on Thursday morning after getting specific information about the presence of PLA cadres. During the search operation, one Lukram Toy, also known as Tawyangba or Pamhaiva, aged about 19 years of Oksu Mamang Lekai, was arrested. The police sources said he is a member of the proscribed PLA and got basic military training of the outfit in Myanmar. He was also involved in the encounter with 21 Para Commandos on 16th of March at Old Tolen. On his disclosure, an AK-56 rifle with 1 magazine, 50 live rounds of AK ammunition, 1 Chinese hand grenade, 2 RPG cells with charger and other AK equivalents were recovered from the forest of Wabaching village. At another incident, Imphal West Police Commando also arrested a PLA cadre from Kawa area on Thursday afternoon. The arrested person has been identified as one Huidrom Premchan of Kawa Huidrom Lekai. Meanwhile, an official source said 3 Manipuri youths were slaughtered by unknown miscreants at Bokachan area in the Assam last night. Details could not be confirmed at the moment. Even though various civil society organizations emerges for safeguarding of our traditions and culture, many religious places in Imphal are seen to be neglected in the state. When talks about the preservance of religious deity are on the fray, many people still continue to discredit the sanctity of many such places. Purerombo Kongnangkong near Chakon has long been associated with the culture of the state, and it is for the reason that a small temple was constructed near it. But the sanctity of the temple is seen desecrated by certain persons due to negligence by the general public of the state. State Directorate of Health Services (IUCEL), in collaboration with All Manipur Nupi Marup, organized a one-day district-level orientation program on homeopathy for mother and child at Manipur Press Club today. Inauguration function of the orientation program was graced by MLA Borajao and Chief Medical Officer of Imphal West Dr. S. Bimola Kumari as Chief Guest and President. Government today decided to make the anti-hijacking law more stringent by approving amendments to include death sentence as a punishment and powers to shoot down a hijacked plane intended to be used as a missile to hit vital installations. The Union Cabinet, at a meeting headed by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, approved these changes for being incorporated in the Anti-Hijacking Act of 1982. A group of ministers headed by Home Minister P. Chidambaram had earlier examined the proposals to amend the existing law to include these aspects as well as the conspiracy to hijack an aircraft. The new policy, which is likely to be included in the amendment, seeks to provide a legal backing for extraordinary moves like shooting down an aircraft whose hijack has been established and the hijackers intend to target vital installation by using it as a missile like what had happened in New York on September 11, 2001. A Holocaust survivor who says she met Anne Frank in a Nazi concentration camp is standing by her story in the face of skepticism from historians, filmmakers and a childhood friend of the diaries. Bert Meyer, 71, claims in a memoir to be published in Dutch this month that while she was in Bergen-Belsen as a 6-year-old, she remembers a severely ill Frank trying to cheer up some of the children at the camp by telling them fairy tales. On its face, it sounds too good to be true, said David Borno of the Netherlands. Institute of War Documentation, who has studied Frank for 3 decades and edited the definitive scholarly publication of her diary. He said his primary objections to Mayer's story are that Anne would probably have been too weak from the hunger and illness to tell stories shortly before her death in March 1945, and it would be an amazing coincidence that Mayer would have a memory about someone who only became well known many years later. Around 140,000 Jews lived in the Netherlands before the 1940 and 45 Nazi occupation. Of those, 107,000 were deported to Germany and only 5,200 survived. Now the sports news. Host Manipur will meet West Bengal in the first semi-final of the 18th Senior Women's National Football Championship 2009-2010 on the 22nd of this month at Kumalampak Men's Stadium. Orissa, which is considered one of the strongest teams in the tournament, will clash with Tamil Nadu in the second semi-final on the 23rd of this month. Haryana beat Assam by 1-0 in the quarter-final round today. Both teams are out of tournaments as they failed to qualify for the semi-final. In the last quarter-final match, today Orissa beat West Bengal by 2-0 at Kumalampak Men's Stadium. Pinky Bompal Magar and Sangeeta Patra scored the goals in the 41st and 62nd minutes of the game. Well, that's all for today, but before we end, the headlines once again. 2 persons, including a former PLA cadre, killed in separate incidents on Thursday night. Government decides to make anti-hijacking law more stringent. And Manipur to meet West Bengal in the first semi-final of Women's Football Championship on the 22nd of this month. Thank you for being with us. Good night.